Red Bull has dropped shocking evidence that could change everything about Abu Dhabi 2025. Lando Norris made a critical off-track move, and FIA analysis shows it may warrant a heavy sanction. If confirmed, McLaren could lose key points, and the championship drama reaches a whole new level. And the twist? Norris still became world champion, but this proof threatens to overshadow his triumph and shake the paddock to its core. Subscribe now because this story is exploding across Formula One, and you don't want to miss the fallout. The 2025 Abu Dhabi Grand Prix was already a high-stakes finale, but the off-track drama surrounding Lando Norris elevated tensions across the paddock. Norris executed a critical pass that took him off the track, a maneuver that initially went unpenalized but was now under intense scrutiny. Red Bull immediately flagged the incident, providing detailed telemetry and video evidence to the FIA. This post-race revelation sent shockwaves through McLaren, Red Bull, and rival teams, as the consequences could impact not just the race result but also the championship standings. Telemetry from Norris's car revealed precise moments where his off-track excursion conferred an advantage. The FIA's preliminary review indicated that the maneuver allowed Norris to maintain momentum through Sector 3, effectively reducing lap time by fractions of a second. In Formula One, even the smallest advantage is heavily regulated, and the data provided by Red Bull made it impossible for the FIA to ignore. The paddock quickly realized that this evidence could trigger a substantial post-race penalty. The FIA's focus was not just on the pass itself but also on its repeatability and impact. Multiple laps were analyzed to see if the off-track action provided a consistent advantage or if it was a one-off occurrence. Norris's car showed a clear pattern. The trajectory off the track minimized tire scrubbing and optimized exit speed. Red Bull's engineers meticulously documented these findings, presenting a case that left little room for debate. This level of technical precision emphasizes how seriously Formula One treats compliance, even for a single maneuver. High-speed video analysis corroborated the telemetry. Multiple camera angles showed Norris cutting the track's limits while gaining positional advantage over his rivals. Frame-by-frame breakdowns matched Red Bull's data, confirming that the off-track action was not accidental but had measurable effects on the car's performance. The consistency between telemetry and visual evidence made the post-race investigation a high-confidence operation for the FIA. The implications for McLaren were immediate and serious. A heavy FIA sanction could result in point deductions, fines, or even the annulment of Norris's race position. The team faced the dual challenge of defending their driver while preparing for the next season, all under the intense scrutiny of media, sponsors, and fans. The tension inside the garage was palpable, with engineers, strategists, and management weighing both technical evidence and potential outcomes. For Red Bull, the situation presented both strategic opportunity and ethical responsibility. By providing conclusive proof to the FIA, Red Bull reinforced their commitment to fair competition and compliance, but also positioned themselves to potentially gain from any penalties applied to McLaren. The competitive dynamics of Formula One mean that even off-track incidents can shift championship battles, and this revelation highlighted the sport's zero-tolerance approach toward rule violations. Finally, the wider paddock reacted to the news with shock and speculation. Commentators, journalists, and team principals debated the severity of the potential sanction, the precedent it could set, and the message it sends to drivers about respecting track limits. The incident demonstrated that in modern Formula One, every maneuver is scrutinized in minute detail, and the FIA's enforcement of rules ensures that even the most experienced drivers must balance aggression with compliance. Abu Dhabi 2025 was no longer just a season finale, it had become a defining moment in regulatory enforcement and championship strategy. The FIA's investigation into Norris's off-track maneuver began immediately after the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, following the evidence submitted by Red Bull. Engineers meticulously reviewed telemetry data, which highlighted the precise moment when Norris left the track to overtake a rival. The data showed changes in steering angle, throttle input, and vehicle speed, all of which indicated that the off-track excursion was not only deliberate but also provided a measurable advantage in lap time. Mechanical simulations were conducted to replicate the scenario under race conditions. The FIA used the telemetry to recreate the off-track maneuver virtually, analyzing how the track cutting impacted tire load, suspension behavior, and vehicle dynamics. Results confirmed that Norris gained an additional fraction of a second in Sector 3, enough to influence the race outcome, especially in a tightly contested field where milliseconds can determine positions. High-speed video corroborated the telemetry and simulation data. Multiple camera angles captured Norris cutting the track limits while overtaking, showing consistency with Red Bull's analysis. Frame-by-frame examination demonstrated that the off-track move allowed Norris to maintain optimal racing line and exit speed, giving him a competitive edge. This alignment of telemetry, simulation, and visual evidence provided the FIA with strong grounds for a potential sanction. To ensure accuracy, the FIA analyzed several laps surrounding the incident. Laps 31, 33, and 35 were cross-referenced with telemetry to confirm repeatability and consistency of advantage. Each lap demonstrated that Norris's maneuver consistently enhanced vehicle performance through the section. This reproducibility eliminated any argument that the off-track move was incidental or a one-off event caused by track conditions. The FIA emphasized that penalties in such cases are based on compliance, not intent or advantage alone. While Norris may have maintained control and avoided a collision, the regulations are clear: leaving track limits to gain position is a breach. This principle ensures that every driver adheres strictly to the track, maintaining fairness and competitive integrity across all teams and drivers. The potential consequences for McLaren are significant. If the FIA confirms a sanction, the team could lose championship points, and Norris's finishing position may be altered or nullified. Additionally, the sanction could include fines or further disciplinary measures depending on the severity and precedent. The team faces the dual challenge of defending their driver while preparing for the implications on strategy and reputation in the post-race fallout. Finally, the paddock reaction has been intense. Rival teams, commentators, and media outlets debated the severity of the incident and the potential FIA response. Red Bull's decision to provide conclusive evidence highlighted the importance of data and compliance in modern Formula One. The Abu Dhabi finale, initially expected to be a straightforward championship conclusion, has now become a pivotal case study in track limit enforcement, post-race investigation, and championship integrity, with the off-track Norris pass dominating discussions well beyond the checkered flag. In Formula One, the rules governing track limits are precise and non-negotiable. Any driver leaving the defined racing surface to gain a positional advantage is considered in breach of the regulations. Norris's off-track pass, analyzed through telemetry and high-speed cameras, provided measurable gains in speed and vehicle dynamics. The FIA's investigation focused on quantifying the extent of this advantage, using advanced simulations to replicate the maneuver and understand its impact on sector times and overall race position. Telemetry data revealed subtle yet significant changes during the off-track excursion. Norris's steering angles, throttle inputs, and car speed indicated that he maintained higher corner exit velocity compared to staying within track limits. These slight adjustments are critical in Formula One, where milliseconds determine positions. The FIA used this data to calculate the potential gain, confirming that the maneuver offered a reproducible and measurable advantage, justifying regulatory scrutiny. Mechanical simulations further reinforced the findings. By replicating the conditions of Sector 3, including tire load, suspension behavior, and aerodynamic effects, the FIA confirmed that leaving the track allowed Norris to maintain momentum and minimize energy loss. This modeling demonstrated that the off-track pass altered the car's dynamic response in a way that would not have occurred had the car remained within the track confines, underlining the breach. High-speed video evidence provided visual confirmation of telemetry and simulations. Multiple camera angles captured Norris cutting the track, showing consistent entry and exit points that maximized speed. Frame-by-frame analysis illustrated how the maneuver allowed a more optimal racing line, particularly in the high-speed complex near the hotel section. The alignment of telemetry, simulation, and visual evidence strengthened the FIA's position for imposing a sanction. The FIA also evaluated the repeatability of the maneuver. By analyzing several laps surrounding the incident, engineers confirmed that the off-track gain was not an isolated occurrence but a consistent pattern. Laps 31, 34, and 36 all showed that the maneuver produced measurable benefits in vehicle speed and sector times. This repeatability is a key factor in assessing penalties, as it establishes the maneuver's impact on competitive fairness. Penalty assessment in Formula One considers both the rule breach and its implications. Even though Norris may have maintained control and avoided collisions, the advantage gained from leaving the track cannot be ignored. The FIA's technical explanation clarifies that the regulations are designed to prevent even the smallest exploitation of track limits, ensuring equal opportunity for all drivers. Red Bull's evidence provided precise measurements to support this regulatory principle. Finally, the broader technical context underscores the importance of compliance in modern F1. Every maneuver, every millisecond, and every fraction of car movement is monitored and analyzed. Norris's off-track pass demonstrates how advanced telemetry, simulations, and visual verification are used together to maintain fairness. The FIA's technical findings, backed by Red Bull's proof, show that even minor infractions can have substantial implications, reinforcing the zero-tolerance culture that governs Formula One racing.